but those who are the major players are making moves. And I have to say that for once, I have to agree with all of those who say that the supporters and the followers need to calm down because they are hitting up the polity. I'm hoping that this conversation does not hit it any further. Well, stakeholders are reacting to the meeting the governor had with the president, and some are saying that it may just not be the right move. I remember having this conversation yesterday, and some people said that the FCT minister was sidelined. I'm not quite sure exactly how that is, but maybe I'm just not seeing the entire picture. But let's dive into this. Some stakeholders in Rivers State are speaking on the way forward in resolving the lingering political conflict to end the emergency rule in the state. In an interview with correspondent Soibi Ruari, public affairs analyst Ijoma Obi is urging the FCT minister to exhibit statesmanship and lead the peace process in the political crisis in the state. He was reacting to the recent closed-door meeting suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara had with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The FCT minister should not act like he is not partisan to this crisis and the peace process, because the president has already directed him. He has a duty to play. So he should ensure that peace is realized. He shouldn't wait for the governor to come. He should invite the governor as an elder statesman, invite the assembly members, and invite other stakeholders who are pertinent to the building of this peace, and have holistic interaction, resolve whatever that should be resolved.
Okay. I love that everyone is an expert. It's amazing. Well, he says the FCT minister should invite the governor. He should make the first move. You don't have to wait. Well, Obi said Governor Sim seems to show genuine interest in resolving the crisis, despite the comments by the FCT minister that he has not visited him again after the first visit to his Abuja residence.
The governor has shown with his body language and, of course, steps. So, and now the governor is also seen in a viral picture with the president. It shows the governor is genuinely making efforts for, and we may not be privy to the condition as spelled out in peace process. It gives a glimpse of hope of peace, and I'm sure that as the process continues, we may get to know more about the conditions surrounding the peace.
On his part, a peace advocate and coordinator of Rivers Peace Initiative, Obinna Egbogidi, urged the factions to show genuine commitment to Rivers people, whom he says are itching for a return to democratic governance in the state. He also urged the two factions to avoid making inflammatory statements.
I must restate that Rivers people are demanding not just words, not blame, but a clear path forward. But we must be honest, there is no version of peace that can succeed without the commitment of all the principal actors. That both the FCT minister and Governor Sim Fubara, together with their supporters, recommit to the peace process with clarity. Mediation efforts must have to continue. This time we need timelines, and we need clear deliverables. Rivers people want resolution, not repetition. What we do now, we either restore confidence or confirm the fears of the people.
Also, the president of the Joint National Congress, INC, Professor Benjamin Okaba, urged Governor Fubara to keep working towards achieving the desired peace in the state.
For Sim, let it just maintain his peaceful disposition. Depend on the president. The president had given his words, so he should not be distracted by comments made by anybody. He remain focused, believe in God that one day, in spite of what anybody wants, that peace will return, and that position that God has endowed, that he has to occupy and complete tenure. For him, he should see all that has happened as a lesson. He has known his true friends and has also known those who have actually pretended to be close and nice to him.
Well, in regular fashion, you can tell I have questions begging answers. And we're getting to that point. I also have to admit that in this quest for peace, there are countless non-issues that have been made issues. For example, the FCT minister admitted that the governor visited him once in the company of two governors that he respects. Now we know that the governor has visited the president twice, right? One in London, which was speculative, and another which has been confirmed in Lagos. And the conversation from some quarters is that the FCT minister needs to be visited again. Are we keeping scores? What exactly is going on? And the idea that the FCT minister might be sidelined because the governor is visiting the president more. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, but this conversation has Mr. Obinna Egbogidi, a coordinator of Rivers Peace Initiative, joining me via the phone. Thank you, Mr. Egbogidi, for making time.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, I know that we need to save your time, so straight to business. We were talking earlier, and since you are the coordinator of Rivers Peace Initiative, you obviously know the strategies required for maintaining, sustaining, and initiating peace. But I'll start by asking, what's your take on the recent closed-door meeting the suspended governor had with the president?
It's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
This crisis has just been on for way too long, and I want to believe that there must have been a template that inspired the move that took the suspended governor to meet with the president on, I think that was on Monday evening now. Don't forget that days back he had appreciated the president for intervening when he did by declaring the state of emergency because things were getting out of hand. And he made that statement from what I observed, a position of great effort. Took him a lot of effort to have made that statement because if you also follow the trajectory of what has been happening, his supporters were completely not in support of that installation in the first place. But I want to believe that he has taken a retrospect and then also taking some form of responsibility as a governor and then arrive at that position that the president indeed may have thought well for the state, not to allow things to have escalated. So the move he made on Monday, from our perspective, was more or less to consolidate on the peace effort, the peace moves that has been ongoing for quite some time now. So it's in the right direction.
Okay. Now, the governor has met the president more times than he has met the FCT minister. That's according to the information in the public space. Does this have any relevance in the scheme of things? Does this suggest that the FCT minister might be sidelined? Does it matter who he met more times?
Well, in the conciliatory move effort, of course, it would have to matter because the two persons in front, the two persons who are the forefront in all of that, this is a conflagration that has now affected the livelihood of over 6 million citizens who are domiciled doing businesses indigenous to Rivers State. There are two persons. And as much as possible, these two persons at this point need to be interacting. But be that as it may, now we heard the FCT minister make that statement on Monday morning. What we have now heard is if there was probably a meeting between the suspended governor or the FCT minister before he met with the Mr. President. But that is only just from one position. The point is that it is neither here nor there whether the governor is meeting with the FCT minister a particular number of times. What is important at this point is that both parties have come to a point where they understand that, at least the FCT minister on Monday, he wasn't even thinking that the state of emergency was going to come. Meaning that to an extent, it may have also taken him by surprise. In other words, none of the parties appear to have emerged winners in all of what has happened. So if the parties did not emerge winners, why then does that mean even the ordinary Rivers people wouldn't even have any stake in all of this? So the important thing here is that there are efforts being made by those who are at the forefront in this whole conflagration. And that is what is important. That the government is able to go to meet with Mr. President, who declared this emergency in the first place, and that he has met with the FCT minister who has expressed his grievances, and of course, rightly so. Because look at what has happened since the beginning of this crisis, and you will see that perhaps there indeed might be some very deep wounds which need to an extent to be addressed. And I also believe that if you look at the posture of the governor, of the suspended governor as it were, in the past 3 weeks, about a month now, you will see that he attempts to give the impression that he is willing and ready to go to just about any length to see to it that there is a reconciliation, not necessarily for himself at this point, but for the sake of the state. So the state can begin to heal from some of the events of our recent past and begin to move towards the path where we ought to be, a path that leads us towards that state stability and prosperity.
Okay. So let's rate Fubara's actions so far towards this resolution. He has met with the president twice. He has met with the FCT minister once. He has spoken to his supporters.
We can't be so sure because the minister always said that on Monday morning, like either the minister or anyone who is working with the minister has come out to either declare that the suspended government may have seen him before he met with the minister. A lot of these sentiments are being exacerbated by interest parties on social media. Okay. And again, even the FCT minister has also said that peace moves, peace efforts do not necessarily end up in the social media. And if you ask me, the social media has been one of the major fuelers of this crisis. Because you see the supporters of both camps, a lot of times they run with very extreme position, perspectives of issues, not minding what the impact, the consequences of what some of the activities online will even have in some of the constitutory efforts that are being carried out by not just the key actors, but a lot of stakeholders who are not happy with what is happening.
Okay. My question was going to be, and at this point we're very close to the break, so hopefully maybe you can squeeze the answer in very quickly. The rating of Fubara's actions, right? He has met with the president. He has met with the FCT minister. We don't know how many times. He has spoken to his supporters. He told them to calm down. He said that if not for the emergency rule, he would have been impeached. And he has taken back some of the things he has said. Now, looking at those actions, would you say that those actions have been in the best place for peace, right? Has he taken the right actions? Is there anything he should have not done or something he should do that he hasn't done yet?
If you ask me, we are already in the middle of the stability as we say. But the government has done exactly what some of us had expected that he ought to have done long before now. He has called his supporters, he has cautioned them, he has redirected efforts, their labor towards the direction of de-emphasizing and de-escalating tension. That is exactly what is required at this point in time. Anyone who is finding fault and trying to misinterpret for the aim of whatever interest at this point doesn't really mean well for the state. Because what we need now is every effort that will get us back to having democratic governance in Rivers State.
All right, Mr. Obinna.
To point to issues.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, sorry. I was going to tell you that we are at the point of a break. We need to take that. After that, hopefully wrap up conversations.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. It is still Hard Facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Oracle Chinedu here. We're having conversations about stakeholders reacting to Fubara's meeting with President Tinubu. And we're asking questions about the right steps towards peace. My guest is Mr. Obinna Egbogidi, is a coordinator of the Rivers Peace Initiative. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So before the break, I asked about the actions of the governor so far. Have they been steps in the right order? You say yes, that they are. And he showed that he was very much interested in the business of peace. But another concern that some people had raised earlier is that desperation might be in the mix. And if a person is desperate, they might make the wrong decision. Also, there would be terms and conditions given for peace to be restored. Do you think that these conditions might be in the interest of Rivers people?
What conditions, if you may ask?
Well, it's going to be close to impossible for you and I to know because most of those meetings are closed door. But there have to be conditions if peace will be restored. That's how it works.
The truth is that Rivers State belongs to, should I even say, close to even 7 million citizens. Because since the last time there was a census, there has been a lot of influx of citizens, and of course a lot of Rivers people too have also been born. And these citizens, a number of them are traders. Some of them are farmers. We have students, we have artisans, we have professionals who are tired of being born in the political battles that do not fit them. It doesn't protect them, it doesn't inspire them. What Rivers people are interested in at this point is concerted, sincere efforts towards peace. Efforts that would see to it that a lot of these are shenanigans that has held this state captive for close to 20 months before these are declaration of the state of emergency that would overcome them. So whatever the government needed to have done, I think that is what he is doing for the sake of the state. Because we not achieve peace. Peace is not built when egos are peace is only built when egos are set aside and people's interest is placed above personal grievances. So if the government has said on many different forums, and I recall that there is no sacrifice right from last year that is too difficult, too much to pay, for the good, for the peace, for the progress of this state. And I also believe that in whatever moves that have been made some behind the scene, that the overall interest is for the good of Rivers State, the good of Rivers people, because the time for rhetoric, blame games, and their threats has long passed. Rivers people deserve better. We deserve to move away from some of these setbacks and the negative conversations.
Now, Ms. Obinna, you said no sacrifice is too much, and you were quoting the governor. Let's talk about what is a possible sacrifice that has been speculated. Could defection to the APC for the River State governor be a viable option on the table? And if it is, would you advise him to take it?
Okay, that's a purely personal political decision.
It's not personal, it's political. That is political. It's way beyond personal because it affects a lot of people.
Well, that is for politicians to decide because the governor has an area of supporters, of Rivers people also who have come to identify with him as not just a leader, but even as his father. So if he sees that as something he feels is going to benefit his followers, his supporters, and even Rivers people, then so be it. That has, I don't think it is in my position even as a peace advocate or any person to really to decide for the governor if he should move to the APC to guarantee his return. But the governor knows the options that are before him. He also understands the weight of the decision, the choice that he needs to make. And I want to believe that the of Rivers people would guide him very diligently and wisely in whatever decision that he will be taking. But the advice is that he shouldn't trade for any reason the progress, the pride, and of course the resources of Rivers people for any reason, for any personal pecuniary reason. So at the end of the day, what is key is that there needs to be an end to some of all of these crises. There needs to be an end to this disagreement. And whatever needs to be done by all the parties that are involved, so that we can begin to talk about issues that truly matter to the average Rivers person, livelihood. Whatever needs to be done to take us back to that platform. That is what as Rivers people used to be.
All right, Mr. Obinna, thank you very much for making the time. We appreciate your time and your resource. Have yourself a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you. So I just want to be I'm just going to talk on top, both on the FPT side and the government side. The time has come that we have all that the message government and the innovative displays and analytic knowledge that we see online and sometimes even on the mainstream media did not serve the interest of Rivers people. They only prolong the pain of Rivers people. Carrying from this that we focus our energy to repair what has been broken as well as the period of this crisis. This is the time to begin the division. We need peace for Rivers people. Has less enough. The time to begin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Egbogidi, for your time. He is a peace advocate and coordinator of Rivers Peace Initiative. All right, it's time for you and I to engage. Question and answers. What is your take on the governor's action far towards a peaceful resolution? If you need a list, I have a few here. I'm sure it's not all. He's met with the president, with the FCT minister. He has spoken to his supporters. He has said the emergency rule saved his job, else he would have been impeached. What else has he done? Well, as much as it's said that he's very much willing and able to play his part. And should the governor work quietly behind the scenes rather than engaging publicly? So this public domain, should he continue what he's doing quietly, or should people be a part of this process? Call me and tell me. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 0090306. For take a live Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info page. You can watch, listen, and engage. Please radio as you call. It's very important. Thank God, Barry Mama Hansen from C Community Canal Government Area is now working directly with the president and may definitely be reinstated by the president on the 12th of June. Okay, interesting. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Oracle, I believe that okay, that's for the big stories. Sam, greetings. For me, there's nothing wrong for the governor to visit the president to discuss bordering on the state. But the governor refuses to visit Mr. President and let him go talk. This minister should suspend the media chat and make peace with his principal son. The more media chats, the more the problem. Should stop having media chats with the FCT minister. Make peace in the states. That's from Thank God Ability as well. Most times it's the minister that fights, right? And because we're in the business of reporting news, we obviously report the news. Charles from GRA. Hello, Chima.
Yes, Mr. Fan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Mr. Fan, I think the governor indeed was regarding this very thing. Because if you hear the governor would even relegate himself, the governor with such a man with such a face, bringing himself down to even coming out in public. Even if I found, I think a legal that will be anything the governor wants to say to the supporters, they have to be in it. You shouldn't come and tell the supporters not to do whatever they are doing. Because I believe some of us who sympathy for him, we are doing that because we wanted the government is very happy that will be that another that the government can do his work well. So government can at least take that step. But I can tell you what is coming out on the other side. The information I'm hearing today that the government has to disband the divine movement if you want it and the rest of them, you know. So it's not so everything is pointing to the fact that what the other people want is that the governor nothing should remain for him. Let it be answering of that and the rest of them. But Mr. Sam, I have just a word to it. And that my word is, please, for all that we are passing through right now, around the corner. Let's no longer fold our hands. Allow a certain structure to produce any government state. Look at what we're going through. Have their state, the innovation, and the man is doing the job. There is no chance. So let's stand our ground in 2027. Who decide who become governor of this state? Not a government structure.
Thank you now. Thank you very much. Jude calls from Omuma. Hello, Jude. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Resolution of the political issue between the minister, wicked, and suspended governor, whereby they are using a Tinubu president as a legislator. Some look at this, as the two people concerned, the former minister and the governor, they are just mainly in a sector to bless Rivers people. Please start because they use every means to swindle Rivers. The government to swindle Rivers support from himself. Because they decide to Rivers man not to do and even Fubara support can't see what the issue is. What are they going to resolve? What do the supporters or what do the supporters know about the cause of the matter? What is being resolved? They want to use the president as the